Kia ora, New Zealand. Welcome to Sweet Chain Live. My name's Matt Drake. This is episode 167, and I'm joined this evening by my co-host, Arne Burgess. Good evening, Arne.
Good evening, mate. One more week. One more
week, indeed. Have you been enjoying yourself as a co-host of the show? Oh, I don't know what's happened there. We've temporarily lost him. The internet in Queenstown must be struggling a little bit. But Arne is joining us. Are you there? Yeah, your picture's frozen. It looks very good, but your picture's frozen. It will come back. Anyway, your voice is still there, which is the main thing. How's your week been? Absolutely fabulous, fantastic. Yes, have you managed to get out and play any golf?
Didn't do very well, but got out and threw a disc, so that's always good.
Fantastic.
On Mother's Day as well. On Mother's Day.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes,
well,
yes.
Brave man, managing to get out. Arne's completely gone. You're back. Lovely, excellent. Right, your picture is back and you're moving, which is great. Yes, happy Mother's Day last weekend for all of the mothers and aunties and grandmothers, etc. In the chat and around the country. You do an absolutely fantastic job, and hope last week was a relaxing day for you. We've got Morgan in the chat. He is
Who's that?
Indeed. Who is this guy? We got some guy called Morgan Hartveld in the chat. I understand actually he might be coming to us. He might be pretty high right now. Is that right? I don't know if that's true. Maybe Morgan can give us an update.
Somewhere over the Pacific.
In which case, international viewers. So that's how we roll. Anyway, we've got a great show today. What we're going to do is we've got hot scores. Then we want to go through lots of little stuff. Really, we got a bit of international news that came up that crossed our desk. Also, we've got the Women's Global event, which is happening this weekend, and we're going to be looking forward to that and having a look at the different. All the different events and who we think is going to be playing well, but also celebrating the fact that there's so many women playing disc golf all on the same day, sanctioned disc golf as well, right? Sanctioned disc golf, so they want to be there. Like, it's not like they'll be dragged along by their partner or whatever. Like, this is absolutely fantastic. And also we got a little game as well. You might have seen these kind of ones floating around. They've been around for a while doing the rounds, where you get $15 to spend, and you got to buy an MPO player, an FPO player, an MP40 player, a MA1 player, and a junior. And you got 5 choices, and they each different costs 5 down to $1, and you get $15 to spend. So chat, get your choices in when we get to that, because me and Arne will be doing that. It's just a bit of fun. If we had a Team Matt and Team Arne, then we'll.
And I just want to point out that the players that we put within the $1 slot, it's not that we're saying that you're a $1 player. We're saying that we actually rate you above a whole bunch of other.
Yeah, I mean, you made it, right? Everyone else is minus dollars. I mean, we were talking to. I was talking to someone just before the chat, and he was like, "You can put me in if you like for minus $1, but you get some money back if you pick it." Oh, well, that's fair enough. Yeah. Anyway, let's get on with the show. We'll go through the power rankings just as a reminder. Going into the Women's Global event, it'll be interesting to see who the top players are going into that, because there will be some tight battles at the very top of some of these tournaments. So as well as a whole bunch of people playing their first tournament. So let's get into it. Arne, hot scores, take us through the South.
All right, so we head down to the first and foremost Queen's Park down in Invercargill, and Rob McNaughton goes back-to-back weeks, 12 under at Queen's Park. Heading over to Dunedin, Chingford, and Brockville, we've got a man with almost a really awesome name, Mano, taking down Chingford with a -4 and Brockville with a -4. Cut the O and the M off the off your name, and you can make it in life, I think. We head over to Queenstown Gardens. We've got Corey and Masashimi with a 9 down at the Gardens this week. Over the hill to Lismore, Mundo McDisk and Ben Quinn share that hot score with a 12 down. Heading up to Christchurch, Mr. Sam Cole with a 12 down at Jelly Park. Heading over to Warren Park, we've got Caleb Alan Kokari Leach with a 13 down. Down to Ashburton, Smallbone Reserve, KBG with a 15 down. Man, 15 down. Oh, and Sam Hall. I think Sam Hall's a local there, so 15 down at Smallbone. That's pretty awesome. Heading up to Queen's Park Reserve, we've got Ben. I don't know what Ben, just Ben. With a 3 down. Now heading up to Saxton Field, Tommy Strawbridge was going for 3 weeks, a three-peat, 3 week in a row, locking out Nelson, but he was unsuccessful this week. He did lock up Saxton Field, a 9-hole course with 7 down, but Mr. Paddy Ludlow takes him out at Brantford with a 15 down. Unlucky Tommy.
Starting up in the capital at Berrenport, it's Brady Cush who hits 7 under par up in the hills. Across the water to Hikoikoi, and Andy Davey hits 5 under. Up the valley at Harcourt Park, Ben Morrison hits the hot score this week with a 6 under par. And at Linklater, it's that man. It isn't that man again. Joel Simpson takes out the hot score this week, beating out Johnny Wake with a 9 under par. So very well done, Joel Simpson. He's back. He was always a name before Johnny Wake started playing. Who was having hot scores there, and so very well done, Joel. Up to Maryland's Jason Mallion hits 3 under par. Spa Park Red had Pedro and Mark Bauman go 1 under, and over at Henderson it's Sam Hitchcock who hits 11 under, and 11 under is also the score that Dane Sales hits round Woodhill. And finally up at Rosedale, Nicholas Goldner hits 6 under par for the hot score of the week. Congratulations to anybody who made it into the hot scores this week. Right, so I guess we better have a look at some news. Let's have a look first at this news. It's probably something that you've seen. Arne, I know that you'll be aware of this. Kristen Tatar is the first lady ever to hit 1,000 rated with a +1 this month, following the latest update. What an incredible achievement!
Oh, right. She's been killing, and that's the thing. Like, it's just consistency now for her. She hasn't been. Oh, I'm not going to say she hasn't been playing well, but other people have been playing and matching her a little bit this year. You know, so she's got the competition, but she's just it's bringing in those steady 1,000+ rated rounds that's gotten her there. So yeah, it's awesome. Great to see. I would like to say finally, because man, every month it's been on the socials.
Crawls up, like a point at a time. Yeah. I think it's because there's so many events being played and rounds being scored. So if we have a look at this tab, and anyone can do this, you know, she's got 69 rounds being used here, right? So when you average that out, another 3 rounds on top won't make too much difference, even if you are taking out 3 rounds from the bottom, other than the top 25%. So of these 70 rounds, the top, what's that be, 17 rounds or so, count double, right? So your more recent form has more of an impact.
Okay.
And otherwise, it just takes a very long time, especially if you have ups and downs, as people have. It's gonna take a long time. You can see it here, how each month it's just gradually edged up, month on month on month. And yeah, incredible achievement, and one that I think anybody who's trying to get to 1,000 rated or trying to edge towards it, which is most people in New Zealand. Honestly, there's only really one person, or there's only 3 people I think who have ever been rated above 1,000. One who is currently rated above 1,000. So, it's a goal for everyone, and I think that's incredible. What I think is great is that, and what's enabled this, I think, is more competition within the ladies division. A few years ago, it really was, if Paige or Christina was going for a high rating, it was really they were battling it out between themselves. But now you've got so many more players, especially a whole sort of tranche of other Europeans other than Kristin who are coming through, and
you look at you look at Evelina. Who's slowly but surely sorting out her putt, and look at the dividends that is playing. And that's the thing. She's got a pretty scary ceiling because the putt's still not that great.
No, exactly right.
And it's that European. There's obviously a reason that the Worlds is going to Europe in 2025, right? It's because the emergence of those players, of Kristin, obviously, but you look at even, Nicholas Antela, My Mortal Envy, Silver Lat, all those European players that are just absolutely carving it up. And yeah,
I think another factor of it going to Europe is the amount of people per capita who are playing it, right? So you hear stories of people of Finland having, you can buy disc golf discs in petrol stations in Finland, and so the idea that it's such a well-known sport there that bringing Worlds in will create a huge buzz around the whole country. Not just within maybe a county of a state,
Exactly.
So yeah.
I mean, I suppose because he's miles and miles in the air and miles away, I can actually give you a little bit of insight to something that the ratings updates did this week.
Oh, right. What happened?
Matt, would you like to know?
Go on.
Missed that. Team Generation captains Morgan and Adam. Adam Rhymes has now overtaken Morgan Hartveld in the ratings.
Really?
He has overtaken Morgan. Is now official. Adam Rhymes is now higher rated of the two team owners, so to speak. We'll call them. So congratulations, Adam.
So what are you saying? That Morgan's the administrator of the team, and Adam is the sort of pro player, the face of Generation?
Well, I mean, Morgan forever calling Adam Statsman Adam, so maybe it's time for Morgan to become. It's my last show, guys. So I've got to.
You go for it. You go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Morgan 9:18 and then Adam 9:21. What a bump!
What a bump! I mean that Armageddon round.
Oh, of course. Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Shot through. So now he's just got to maintain it.
I want to stay on the ladies' theme for a moment. And let's just slide over to the women's global event, which is happening this weekend. And I just want to have a look at these numbers, right? These numbers are insane. So this is Auckland. This is Auckland this year. Sorry, it's the largest ladies event with 58 competitors. Which is incredible. Great work by Charlotte Dunkley. She always puts a huge event on up in Auckland, and has done so again here. And if we have a look at the number of players, it's all FA3, FA4, right? The number of people who haven't played tournaments before, all new players. But if you also have a look, there's a few surnames there that you kind of look at and go, wait a minute, I recognise that surname, which I think is great because it shows that people are getting family members and stuff into the game, which is brilliant. It's
I was sorry, I was playing disc golf at Hamner with a guy named Clinton Nihor, who used to be my neighbour, and he has been coaching his wife for the last couple of months for this particular event.
Fantastic.
And you know, it's good to see. It's awesome to see.
Wellington, they always put on a good event as well. This CAF does a brilliant job of organising the Wellington event. And let's just have a quick look. 49 of 50 places, few FPO, pretty spread out, but again, a lot of people in FA4, FA3, people who have never played before, but people whose where I recognise some of the surnames. McLeod, Mocker, Wake. You recognise these surnames, right? It's fantastic to see people are getting their family members involved and better halves, etc. Into playing the game. And this has got the potential to be pretty competitive, I would say, because you've got Amy Whitmore, Kath Headley, Michaela Kerr, and Liz Mocker all in the same tournament and playing at Harcourt Park. Liz knows this course incredibly well, and it wouldn't be too strange to see her coming in, even par or one or two shots over just on a league night. Let alone when it's tournament like this. The first Women's Global event down in Invercargill is also being held. So there's 34 ladies signed up for this, which is brilliant. When you consider the population of Invercargill, that's an incredible result. But you've got some, again, this has got the potential. One, it goes deep, right? So we've got some big divisions further down, FA4, some age-protected divisions as well. But this has got the possibility to be very competitive with Alison, Echo, Nicola, Victoria, all playing this weekend. It's gonna be great to see who comes out.
I'm pretty sure there's a bit of a contingent. I don't know for that division in particular, but the socials on Disc Golf Dunedin as well. I think they're making the hike over. So
I see a lot of these names here, and a lot of these names I associate with Dunedin. So yeah, very well done. And finally, the last but not least, Women's Global event this weekend is in Christchurch. Now, Christchurch have gone for a slightly different tack. They've allowed some amateur males to compete, and that's a way of what that does is it strengthens the prize pool and the amount of people who are playing in. So we can look for a different experience that perhaps they might not otherwise have had, but still the focus very much on the ladies' game and the ladies' competition. Big FA4 division, and lots in the age protected divisions as well. So look, it's going to be a great weekend. The Women's Global event is a competitive thing. I don't know if people know this across the world. So the idea is if your event has at least 2 rounds involved, then you can take, I think it's the average, your event average rating, and then that's scored against everybody else in the world who is competing at a Women's Global event this weekend all over the place. So New Zealand will be one of the first places in the country to host a Women's Global event, especially the ones on Saturday anyway. And so what we'll see is we'll slowly see those results come trickling in, and then when the US tournaments will come in, maybe there's some one days, maybe there's some that are on Sunday or on Saturday, then they're the ones that we'll see how people compare, and I think that's fantastic. So to have 4 events running around the country, all in one weekend, where there's a lot of ladies playing, and I'm just going to see if I can do some quick calculations here. 49 plus 58 plus 34, that's 141, and we haven't even counted the players in Christchurch. So we've got 13 there and 13 there, so we need to take 26 off. So 26 off 64. So
you're confusing me already.
Minus 26. There are 179 players. 179 ladies playing disc golf, sanctioned disc golf this weekend. It's fantastic to see. The previous highest was year before, because Women's Global Events were a biannual thing every 2 years, when there was events in Wellington and in Auckland, and each event of theirs got about 40 odd competitors. I think Auckland might have tipped over 50. So it might have just been around the 100 mark. So to go to 179 now is fantastic, and really it's a result of those two new events, which I think New Zealand needed, and absolutely deserve to be there, and they're in exactly the right place. Love to see one in Nelson, Tom, for next year. Next time it's run. Love to see one up in Nelson with the amount of play that's been going up there, and just to get the whole of the South Island covered. And you might argue one in Taupo as well, just to cover the middle of the country, middle of the North Island, I should say.
Look, this is one of those initiatives that I do feel like I've got to be careful here. I don't want to sort of put anyone, we're going to really get in behind these things. We're going to push them. And so shout out mainly to those people and those clubs that are putting it on. We've got to get behind the day, make sure, I'm just going to say it, NZDG, they've done well through subsidising some of the, I think 3 of the 4 events they have paid for the sanctioning, so that's great to support there, but there's been absolutely nothing behind the promotion of it. We've got to, it's only a one-off event at the moment. 1 every 2 years. Right? 1 every 2 years, so it's not hard to throw up some socials. I looked at Disc Golf Australia, and they've done amazing this week with their socials around their WG events and celebrating their ladies and whatnot. So look, it's just one of those things. I know that NZDG I don't even think they have a comms person in there at the moment, but I think this is an event worth losing a little bit of money on, just to ensure that we're pushing those numbers.
It's not even
up.
Losing money; it's an investment of money, right? And you make a decision, or rather, the board makes a decision on what to invest in. And I would encourage encourage them to look at these events in the future as perhaps carrying more value than was previously thought. So, that's you're absolutely spot on. I think. We'd love to see it. But anyway, very best of luck to the 179 ladies who are all playing at a global event somewhere in New Zealand this weekend. It's going to be fantastic. I'll be following all of the scores, and I'm sure all of the social media, which will be popping off with people sharing pictures of how much of a good time they're having, because that's the thing that I got out of the last Women's Global event. I was fortunate enough to be the tournament director, or assistant tournament director to the last one in Wellington, and it was so much fun. People came away with smiles on their face and had a great time, and that's what it's about, because if you go to an event like this and enjoy it, I think you're far more likely to then go, yeah, all right, what are we doing today? Nothing? Okay, let's go and play some disc golf. And then it bites you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
then it's in. It's got its claws in. And
You just got to see that one flight.
That's it.
That one perfect flight.
Yeah.
And that's I mean, I see Kath is in the chat, so if she just so happens to have a 4XL male Haramaki to fly t-shirt going around.
You'll have to see if you can sort that out. It's So look, it's going to be a great weekend. Really, really looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Right. Now, Arne, you're going to be. This is your last show as a co-host.
As co-host.
As co-host for now. I'm sure we'll have you back in times of when Morgan and I can't make it, or for whatever other reasons. But also, you're going to be on the show next week, but not in the capacity of as a co-host, right? So, as you would have heard in previous episodes, or last week really, it's the NZDG AGM at the end of this month, end of May. And there are a number of contestable positions up, and so we've reached out to all of the nominees, and asked them if they would like to come on the show and have a chat to us, chat to me and Morgan about various bits and pieces of NZDG where they feel that they can help out, where they see some of the direction being, and etc. And Arne, so you'll be back to talk through your nomination, because you have been nominated for the position of tournament director, or tour director, I should say. Tour director.
Yeah.
Let me just find the full list of people nominated, just in case you did miss this. I need to make sure that the link works, because I had to be forwarded this. So, I might have to reach out to Martin and just double check. But let's have a quick look. If you missed this, these are the board nominations for the upcoming election. So Brady Cush and Ewan Craig are contesting the position of chair. Matt Pritchard has been nominated for deputy. Jonathan Simon's been nominated for treasurer. Kelvin Cummins and Matt Pritchard are contesting outreach. Lucinda Rawlings is the nominee for comms. Martin McGaw, who we had on the show a few weeks ago and came across as incredibly competent, is running again for secretary. And then Arne, you have been nominated for the position of tour director. So that's going to be interesting. We'll have you talk to us a little bit about some of the ideas, or some of your thoughts around the responsibilities of that position, and where you think it may go next week. And we've invited all of the people in the nominee column there to come along on the show next week. Whether they'll be here or not, I haven't heard back from everybody yet, so we'll just have to see if people are available. But we've reached out to everybody and asked if they'd like to come along and say a few words. If you and what I'd encourage you to do is obviously vote. That's the most important thing. But also, you might want to wait until that show before you cast your vote, so that you get an idea of who you're voting for, and maybe in order for a democracy to run, it relies on a well-informed electorate, or whatever the saying is. And this is an opportunity to more inform the electorate. Ewan is looking forward to it. He's going to be joining us. So look forward to that next week. That's going to be good fun. Morgan will be back, as we said. He's in somewhere over the Pacific right now.
I'm fully expecting a good grilling from him after the stick that I've given him tonight and over the time. But can I just say, look, regardless, there's a couple of things I want to point out. I'm not going to do my pitch this week, but everyone that you just read out has obviously been nominated, but they're putting their hands up to do a position, so they're putting their hands up to volunteer some time, and that's awesome. So well done to everyone who did.
Absolutely.
And the second thing is there are a couple of positions that are uncontested, so at the moment, it looks as if I'm uncontested for tour director, but I need approval, right? I can't just run. So if you don't like me, don't vote against me, or show your non-confidence in me. But I'll do my pitch, and I'm sure I'll gain everyone's trust.
No, that's a fair point, right? Just because somebody is running uncontested doesn't necessarily mean that they're guaranteed to make it in. But we we're going to look forward to next week and look forward to the thoughts and ideas of everybody there, and we'll maybe try and have some debates amongst the contestable positions, see how we can help better inform you guys and girls to make a informed decision when voting time comes, or when you decide to cast your vote. Right, where shall we go now? Should we lighten the mood a little bit, Arne? Let's.
I think so.
Right. So, the way this works, okay, is we're going to put up a graphic of faces. Sorry, and you've got to pick your team. Now, you've got to imagine that you are you've got to imagine that you're the owner of a disc golf team, and you've got $15 to spend on 5 players. And you need to cover all your bases. So you need to cover an MPO player, FPO, MA1, Masters, and Juniors. And you need to pick your team. Now, Arne and myself will be picking this in a serpentine formation. I think if that makes sense.
Yes.
So Arne, do you want to go first, or what's?
I think what we should do is
we'll chuck the graphic up on the screen first, and people can see what we're working with, and we'll get the idea. Okay, so here we go. Right, who's in your team? You got $15 to spend, and you have to pick one person from each of these categories, right, across the top, each of the MPO, FPO, etc. And you got $15 total to spend. So, Arne, I'll let you go first.
Okay, that is okay.
Now,
well,
sorry, before people jump in, what's the criteria for winning? Well, really, it's who's going to bring back the most bacon, the most trophies or results within their division. So yeah.
And it is, it's not an MPO versus MPO, FPO versus. It's the team collective.
Indeed.
Yeah, no, brilliant. So, look, I'm going to fire straight off the bat and go for the unsurprising pick, and I'm going to go $5. Mr. Levi Stout.
He's picking Levi, and look, $5. Is that a bargain?
It's an absolute bargain, I believe. I'm glad to have the number 1 pick in this draft, and I suppose I can afford to do that because if you look at the quality of the rest of the field, I'm not going to have chumps. There's still some good cattle there. So sorry to refer to everyone as cattle. I didn't mean that.
Let's just have a quick look now. Levi hasn't played any sanctioned events this year. Sorry, not this year, since the last ratings update, I should say. However, if we have a look at... I'm just pulling up the player statistics for New Zealand. What we can see... Oh yeah, that's better. And we maybe saw this last week when we were talking to Francis. Levi Stout is the only player currently rated at 10-11. So, yeah. Now, I'm going to go for my pick, and I think this is a bargain, honestly. Yes. I think this is a bargain. I'm going to go with Francis Orange at $3.
Yeah, at $3, it is a bargain. Yes.
I think Francis at $3 is an incredible bargain. So I'm going to go with him because he's on a tear. He's won his last couple of events. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he goes at Nottingham Giants. And yeah, that's where we're at. So I'm going Francis for $3. And it's my pick again now, isn't it?
It is your pick again, but if I can reflect on that, I haven't been playing disc golf for a while, but when I first started, everyone was talking about uh, Levi, Jaden, and Jacko,
Hmm.
and then it became Levi, Jaden, and then Ethan and Jaden were playing, were the ones that were going at it. Is Francis and Levi the battle of 2024? Uh, well,
Yeah,
end of this
I
season.
think I really think it could be, especially as we come into some. They're both playing. They're both playing in the Dunedin two events, and they're both playing Tucker Beach Rush. Now, typically in the past, Levi's owned that tournament, so we're going to have to see if Francis can make a dent there. It's certainly a course where actually I think he could play very well.
Yeah, definitely.
But
So,
yeah, it's going to be, and then they're both based in Dunedin now, which is incredible. So yeah, Dunedin's doing very well. We've got some guesses. Ben Wheellake's come in with Levi, Michaela, Johnny, Gin, Allison. Tom Strawbridge, Levi, Michaela, Johnny, Gin, Allison. That's a very good. Well, I've just read those off and didn't. Kelvin's gone with Francis,
yeah,
Nicola, Tom, Jack, and Allison. Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
that's a decent
It is.
shout.
Right,
Yeah.
so for FPO, I
Yep.
get to pick first. Do I get to pick first for FPO and MP40?
Uh, so no. So you get picks 2 and 3. I get 4 and 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I pick FPO and MP40 first, and then you pick FPO and MP40. Is that right? How's this going to work?
No. So you pick your FPO.
Yeah.
I'll pick
Yeah.
mine. And then I pick my
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah.
MP40.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So you make 2 picks in a
Yeah.
row.
We can't
Yeah.
double up though, right? So
No.
we can't both pick the same people, which is interesting. So,
No.
okay, so I'm going to pick there, and then I'm just going to pick there, and I'm going to pick there, and then, okay. Okay, right. Because this isn't just about who's the best player, right? Because it's Haley is,
No.
I think, the best
Because it's got a
player.
budget.
What you've got to do is you've
Yeah.
got to budget for later on.
Mhm.
And someone else who you might want to pick up. So I'm gonna go. I think Michaela at $1 is really is quite
Yep.
quite an interesting pick, honestly.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm picking Michaela for $1. I
Cool.
think that this year, that's going to be, it's going to be an upward trajectory, and I think she's going to be challenging Haley and Michelle for a lot of those titles this year.
Yep.
I've said it before, the amount of work she puts in, it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off.
Yep. Cool.
Who are you going
I
for?
am going to go with the newly contracted Innova player, Victoria Speller.
Victoria, solid pick. Solid pick. Solid pick. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she's another one, right? Who's going to be around for a while. Both Michaela and Victoria are going to be around for some time, and I suspect will, if they continue on the trajectories they're on,
Yes.
will cause some problems. Let's just have a look at the graphic that we had previously. So let's sort by rating. So I don't know why people are listed twice. Oh, it's because they're in different. Because they've played different divisions. That's why.
Okay. Yeah.
If you know what I mean. And this might actually filter some people out, so we'll have to see. So Haley Flintoff, no, she's not the highest rated. Well, she is. One moment, caller. So we've got you have Sapphire Wido in is officially rated the highest at 893. She's played one event in the last I think in her career, which was the Bottle Lake Open, which she won. So incredible performance. But we,
she plays. She plays typically the Bros tournaments as well.
Yeah.
I don't think she played last year, but I'm pretty sure. I might be making this up in my head, but I'm pretty sure she's a national level basketball player.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I think
and
she
so
played. Did she play GCO last year? Not the one.
Yeah, I think she might have
GCO
as well.
Anyway, so you got Hayley Flintoff, who is 891, Michelle Simpson at 885, and Victoria Speller at 882. I didn't realise that Victoria was so highly rated there. I really didn't. I thought it was lower than that. And then you've got Michaela at 872. I think that's interesting. We've got some more guests coming through. Tom's gone for Levi, Michaela, Tom, Jack, and Magnus. Morgan's gone for Joseph, Victoria, Johnny, Jin, and Sam. Okay, so very generation heavy there, but yeah, we'll see. Very good. Let us know your thoughts, chat. Who's in your team? So MP40. Who are you going with, Arne?
Yep.
Who are you picking?
Oh, this is a pretty no-brainer pick for me. I'm going with a goddamn Johnny Ferrari.
Johnny Ferrari for a buck.
Yeah.
Johnny Ferrari for a buck.
And let me just say, there is a possibility that these teams will be playing at, say, down at the Smash, and he ain't getting beaten by any of those players.
Certainly not at the Smash. I think that there's a case for each of these players. Probably.
Yeah.
I'd like to say quite regionally, because you go to the upper North Island and Mark Dackiv's gonna dominate.
Yes.
You go to you go to Dunedin. And Tom's going to play well. You go to Queenstown, Hemi's going to play well. You go to, and Mikey U's always going to be there or thereabouts. So, look, I'm going to go with Tom McKay for $3. And I hope that I haven't got money left over, honestly, because I've only spent $7 so far on free picks. So yeah, we'll see. And so, yeah, that's who I'm going with. I'm going with Tom McKay. He previously had the highest rated tournament rated round by a Kiwi. Prior to Francis grabbing it the other week. So yeah.
Prior to Levi.
Prior to Levi earlier on in the year, and then Francis most recently. But for a long time held the record at, I think, 1065 or 1062. I think which was at Lismore as well, I think, from memory. But anyway, yeah, I'm going with Tom McKay. Very underrated, I think, as a player, and has been almost consistently in the top. Almost consistently in the top 20 in the country. Let's see if I can grab the ratings, just like we've had previously.
Yeah, I suppose this is just reflecting on some of the comments in the chat. Look, we could have, when I first started building this together, I had about 15 people down on the $5 mark, and then I just thought, well, we can't fit that into a graphic, so so we had to be quite selective.
Indeed. We haven't included Simon Feasey in the Masters division because he doesn't play very many Masters tournaments. It's only really kind of the majors that he's played. He's predominantly an MPO player, so that's why we've omitted him from there. Yeah. So you're going with Johnny Ferrari, 954, and I'm going with Tom McKay at 949.
I believe that puts me at $9.
That puts you at $9. Yeah, you've spent $8. $9. $9. That puts you at $9. Yeah. So actually, we're not overspending, it would seem. Right here, I'm picking MA1, and I've got to go for Jin. He's my. Actually, is he? Because I need to be quite sneaky here, because I think you've got the advantage going into the
But none of them are bad.
No, not at all.
The thing.
That's what makes it really. That's what makes it really tricky. How much have I spent so far? $7. So I've got $8 to spend on the final 2 spots. And how much have you got to spend? $7 on the final 2 spots.
I've got 6.
Oh, you've got 6 to spend on the final 2 spots. Right. Okay. I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. And I know what I'm going to do. And I'm going to pick up Gus for $1. He is going to be my pick for $1.
Yep.
And I think you might have seen what I've sort of half done there. Gus played incredibly well. Less so recently, but very much so been playing some incredible disc golf. Who are you picking?
Yeah, so I think you saw my strategy. What I was going to do with the remaining $6. So now I am forced to look outside of that, and I get to pick 2 in a row. So
you do.
I'm going with the I believe he's the NZ champ for MA1. It's Luke Hempel.
Luke Hempel.
And yes,
yeah, look,
for $3.
Very highly rated, 955 current rating. On the graphic now, you'll see that Johnny Wake and Andy Davey, they've just played MA1 events, which is why they're listed here. And as you can see, they've just played the one event here. The one event. Also, they predominantly play MPO, but they're included in here because they have played MA1 events, similar to Sergey. And Toby Gentle as well, to a degree, also plays predominantly MPO. So, you're taking Luke Hempel.
Yes.
And Luke is $3. And finally, then Arne, do you want to pick your junior? Who are you going for?
Yeah, I mean it's probably laid out. All 3 of them. I think we were being pretty cheeky when we put Sam in the juniors here.
I did say when we were putting this together, I was like, I'm not sure. But he is $5, right? So you gotta be prepared to splash out if that's what you're gonna do. Yeah.
Look, I think it ends on top form. He's the ability. Like at the Smash, he played MA1 and he was 3rd overall to Ethan and Levi. So he's a top 10, if not on his day, a top 5 New Zealand player. So obviously I can't afford him. I did weigh up the potential of whether having a world champion on my team would outweigh my wins.
Yep.
Yes, your teams might win more tournaments, but how many world champions do you have?
That's true. Medals on the table after all,
I'm going to pick someone who I believe is going to win the world championships this year, and I'm going to pick Ellison Tweedy for $3.
Good pick. Very popular pick within the chat as well.
Yeah.
It would seem. I think you're spot on with that projection. I think she's got every chance of picking up a world, and that's not too far away. Eh? We're talking June, July time. We'll have to get the exact
June.
Exact dates because we'll want to do a few previews of that coming up. Very good. Now I have what have I spent so far? I've spent $8 so far, so I've got $7 to spend. And I'm picking up Sam Lykin for $5. And so he is my final junior pick. I think this guy is, I don't want to say the next Levi, because that's a disservice, right? Because he's his own player. But if you look at it in terms of age, development, potential ceiling, I think he's got everything. And that will be it'll be incredible to see how far he goes.
With there's some common themes between Sam and
Yeah.
Levi and the Stouts.
Hmm.
Obviously Levi would potentially, you would have thought that maybe he had the bigger junior sort of career.
Hmm.
He's only just gone to university, right? But Sam sort of just slowly moves through it nicely, and he's just kept going. But both boys have a massive amount of family support,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, I'd agree.
and that's probably a massive key,
Hmm.
because if there's a tournament within reach of Sam, they're getting
Yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah.
So that's why he's going to do so well, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely share that.
The other comment I make about Sam that really struck me when we had him on the show actually a few weeks ago, probably a few
Mm.
months ago now, but he was on the show previously. Let's see if I can just find what episode it was, because it was a great episode. If you want to go back and watch it, it was he talked to us about his career so far, and it was a great chat. He spoke very well. I just want to find where the episode is. The episode was
I do just want to.
162, so actually just 5 weeks ago
Yeah.
he was on the show. Go on.
Oh no. I was finish your spiel about Sam, because I've got something else to add.
The final point I would make about Sam, which I think is consistent with Levi, and that comes across or came across to me in the interview that I had with that we had with Sam a few weeks ago, and the interviews that we've had with Levi, of which there have been numerous over the couple of years we've been doing this, is that they struck me as being very emotionally intelligent, right? So what I mean by that is they both struck me as being able to be calm under pressure, being able to be in control of their emotions. That doesn't mean emotionless. It doesn't mean that they're not able to show joy or frustration. It just simply means it's more in their control, and that they're capable of controlling their emotions rather than their emotions controlling them, and then it having an impact on their play. And that really struck me. And it is something which you also see when in some of the Tour Down Under footage, where you see Levi playing against some of the top pros, and it's just not phasing him at all, and he's playing well, and then sometimes he gets unlucky or plays a bad shot, and yet is able to shrug it off, get on with it.
Have you checked out the NZDG documentary, the one on Bottle Lake where Levi wins? Have you seen
I
that?
have, yes.
The comments that Levi made about, coming down the stretch against Luke Humphreys and having to make an eagle, knowing he has to make an eagle to really put it there. And he does it, from circle 2 on a knee through a gap. And, just to have that, you look at me, hole 1 of Hamner, and yes, I am comparing myself to Levi Stout. Hole 1 of Hamner, I throw into a tree, I go OB, I miss the Mando, I run it long from the drop zone. I'm a quadruple bogey after hole 1, and I'm still bloody spewing about it, but those boys, it's just water off a duck's back to them, they just get on with it, move on.
That's it.
And that's the thing, that's how you draw those big rated rounds, or those monster rounds. And I'd even, that's probably the difference that I'm noticing with Francis, the last couple of weeks. It's the Francis, I think, he would have been, he would even admit that he always had the ability to shoot hot, but it was always the second or third round that he would just lose a couple of strokes. Yeah. But now he's learned how to push through that. Yeah. And, bloody young people.
So I'm just putting our teams into the chat. Which team do you think is would win in that matchup? Incredible matchup. Maybe we'll have to arrange that one day to occur. That would be quite something. But yeah, so chat, let us know who's in your team. You got $15 to spend, and it's going to be good. Now let's have a look at this. All came out because we were talking about the NZDG Tour winners, right? Now, I'll be honest with you. I didn't see a lot of this kind of publicised. Now, is that just me being lazy or not linking to the right socials, or
Yeah.
or was this have I genuinely, was it not as promoted as we would have hoped?
As what we would have hoped. Look, people's lives get busy, right? And I know that the comps position, I think, at the moment is empty, and tour director is a massive job. So, look, I've been guilty to sort of throw a few stones at NZDG. That's, my mother brought me up right, so I sort of, you don't throw stones if you're not willing to help out. So I put my hand up to do that as well. At least there's room to move and get a little bit better on that. But you would have hoped that there would have been some sort of social media campaign. It doesn't take much to throw together a slide just saying congratulations, just something. I'm not going to say that I'm biased because Morgan and Adam have such a big role in the Elite Series, but they had a medal at the end of the Elite Series for all of the division winners. It's not a massive prize. I shouldn't have said it's not a great prize. It's a huge prize. It's the title that you're going for, but at least it's something.
Yeah.
And to have it at the final event of the tour, that's really special as well. So, look, let's just try and get a little bit better. I think it's congratulations to all the winners.
We're going to go through the winners now. So, Levi Stout takes out the NZDG Tour for 2023-24. Wins by 2 points over Jackson Sullivan. Now, NZDG points are closer than they look. They're not as close as they look, is what I should say, right?
Yes.
Because of the way in which it works. Essentially, and if you're unaware, what you do is you get points for each event that you attend, and you are placed based on how you finish. I think it's within your division that you play, and so the winner of each division gets 50 points for a standard NZDG Tour event. Majors are different, but for the standard events, you get 50 points for the winner, and then it goes down from there depending, and the amount of points you get, fewer than 50, depends on how many people played in your division, right? So you can see here in MPO now majors are different. The maximum for a major is 60. You take your top 6 scores of all the tournaments you play. So if you play every event, you're still taking your top 6, and only 2 of them can be majors. Maximum 2 of them can be majors, right? So if you play all 3 majors, it's not going to count. So Levi wins Tucker Breach Rush, Waimati Spring Sling, takes out Moonbase South Island Champs, which is 70. It seems that majors are 70, my bad. Bottle Lake at 50. Nationals at 64, because he didn't quite win that. You'll remember that would have been that was Corey Ellis, who wins that. So he gets that's why his points were down, but otherwise was dominant throughout the whole year. Jackson Sullivan in second place after wins at Auckland Champs, Rapper Rumble, North Island Champs with a big 70 there, and Brook Park Brave. And Joe Berry in third, Francis Orange, who we spoke about earlier, in fourth, Johnny Wake in his first full year on tour in fifth place. I think that's incredible. When you look at this, actually, 40 there, and that's because that's a smaller event. Fault Line Fury is a smaller event, so it gets fewer points. I mean, North Island Champs, I think there's room to grow there for Johnny Wake. So let's keep an eye on that for next time.
Definitely.
let's just have a quick look at
few-
the Open ladies. Hayley Flintoff takes out the title here pretty comfortably. Based on events played, probably I would suspect Juliana Korver in second place, and Zoe Andike, and obviously Juliana Korver and Zoe Andike only played 3 events each, so you can see where their points came from. And then we're going to go to how do I pick a different division? Oh, there it is. Mikey Yu wins Pro Masters for the how many years in a row? I'm not sure. He seems to pick this up every single year. Is playing more Masters, which is great to see. Hemi Teafitu in second place, and Tom McKay in third. Blair joins Silent Assassin in fourth. Jay Puki Puki in fifth, and the General Jung Ha in sixth. And where are we? Where's the next division? Can I select it? There it is. Luke Hempel, your pick, picks up the tour win for MA1. So very well done to him. 335 points is an incredible haul. If we have a look at how he did it, wins at the Extreme, Tipohoy, and first place at North Island Champs, and solid performances at both the other majors, as well as a win at the Topor Classic. I mean, that's going to do it for you, right? Great performance by Luke.
Did he win in one? He won Bros as well in the MA1.
In FA1, so this is FA1, 2 and 3 put together. Charlotte Dunkley takes out the honours here over Amy Whitmore. As we have seen, there's some cross-pollination, if you know what I mean, with people playing different divisions sometimes and picking up different points because of it. But well done to Charlotte Dunkley. Plays a lot of her disc golf in Auckland, and that's I suspect where most of the damage in terms of her points total has come from. Intermediate mix, so this is MA2 and below. Ezra Morrison wins this division, which is a solid performance by Ezra out of Palmerston North, winning over Daniel Gee and Callum Petman.
Relation of, I assume, of Ben and the Wakes.
Yes. He's Ben's cousin. No, Ben's nephew. Johnny Wake's cousin, I think, is how it works. I'll probably be corrected for that. The best division, MA40. Stuart Gilchrist wins this largely down to wins at. I want to go across. Where's my scroll bar gone? Okay, we'll go to here. Solid performances at the Tucker Beach Rush, Moonbase, Seafarer and Nationals, wins at Paradise Place and Queenstown Classic, and a good performance at Lords and Ladies gives him the win over James Sutton. What I think is interesting here is James and Stu both played Moonbase and Nationals, and that was the only 2 tournaments that they both played in.
Interesting. Who finished higher?
Stuart finished higher by some distance. So I think it's interesting. Hayden Shaw in third place, very strong performance from Hayden. Brett Carlisle in fourth, beating out Ryan Kiddo and Owen Mandisodza. And you have to go down pretty low, honestly. You're much higher than me, but
oh, really?
Yeah, I would have thought so because I've only played about one event. So there we are, 43rd.
It's on pure.
You're 46th, so there we are. We're both there. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, chat. Just indulge us.
This is not about you tonight. It's about us.
The amateur ladies, Masters ladies. Kath Headley takes out the competition here. Again, Nicholas Stout may have played in other divisions, but this is an incredible performance by Kath. Wins at Nottingley, which feels like years ago. Well, it is about a year ago. Fairness. Good performances at Moonbase for Kath, which has really helped her out. Sue Brown and Nina Duckles, both out of Dunedin in third and fourth. And then we start getting into the Amateur Grandmasters. So this is MA50. Chris Kingsnorth wins this. Incredibly tight division. This is always a well a well contested division, but Kingsnorth wins over Mark Tebbett.
Oh, Tibbs.
Grandmasters for women, Debbie Mills wins this one. So, fact about Debbie Mills, she's ambidextrous, which I think was a forced ambidexterity.
Yeah.
Ambidextrous. She broke an arm anyway, and and needed to have it in a cast for some time, and so learned to throw with the other arm, which is what Phil Botter did as well. So if ever you play,
I noticed
Phil,
that
he'll rip it right and left.
I noticed if you follow Andrew Popham on social media, he's also doing that at the moment.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
It's just ridiculous.
I don't want to say I wish I broke my arm, because I don't want to break my arm. But you know what I mean? Like, it would make you think differently and do some different stuff. Let's have a look. Senior Grandmasters, Andy Brewster takes this division out, probably unsurprisingly. He was, for some time, a Grand Slam major winner in New Zealand in MA60. So well done to him. Des Cooper and Gary Jarvis, second and third, with Jim Oates. Senior Grandmasters ladies, Karen Dotto wins this. FA6, presumably just the one event in ladies. There was no one there. In junior mixed, Connor Rance takes out this division. So congratulations to Connor. Over some pretty... I mean, Sam has played more MPO competitions than MA1 competitions this year.
Yeah.
But I think you look at some of the talent that's coming through here. We spoke about Finn Rumors the other day. Hinato won the other week, I believe, at Lismore. Was it? Did he win Lismore? I think he won Lismore.
By one stroke.
And has played well elsewhere. So that division is looking really, really strong for considering that you're taking out that Sam Lycan and Levi have kind of almost graduated from this division in a way. It's interesting to see how it's backfilling very nicely. And then the junior ladies, Alison Tweedy wins this pretty comfortably. There we are. Congratulations to all the tour standings, to all the New Zealand tour winners. One of the things that people are voting for, in addition to the positions, is the contribution to disc golf in New Zealand awards for 2023-24. So when that comes out, make sure you have a look at it. I haven't seen anything yet, but I suspect we'll get something a bit close to the time. But again, I didn't get that last email, so it might be floating around either in my spam filter or the ether, and still on its way. But so that's something that's worth voting on, and you'll see the nominations when they come through, and it's worth, I think, casting your vote. And it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks as we get towards the kind of as we get to like the what was I going to say? We get closer towards the AGM. I'd encourage everybody here to vote and everybody here to attend the AGM. Please, please get to it. It's really, really important. Right, let's quickly go through some of the events that are coming up. So it's the Women's Global event this weekend, as we talked about, and then it's the Cloud Factory Clash. Now, I think there's still positions or places available for the Cloud Factory Clash down in Matoda in down south. There's 49 people signed up so far, but plenty of space. So if you're around there on the 26th of May, head down. Nottingham Giants is the inaugural event of the NZDG season. If you like, Nottingham Giants, the sequel. There are 123 people already registered for this in Waimate. Registrations are open now. Sub-Zero, first event on the Elite Silver Series, which is at beginning of July. So actually there's some gaps here. We've got 3 weeks of events on the bounce, then a break before Sub-Zero kicks in, and then another break before Tucker Beach Rush at the end of July, and then another break before Smallbone Slam. And then it starts to pick up as we get more into the spring.
Yeah, I think we're coming off a pretty spoiled summer,
Yeah, oh, right, yeah, totally.
with regards to tournaments and whatnot. But I did notice a few social media posts up about leagues and whatnot. You remember those things? Leagues?
Leagues are great. Leagues are great. I love a league.
Yeah,
and
leagues
I've organised a few leagues in the past, and they've been great fun. You know, for getting people out every week, having a laugh with your mates after work, unwind. It's brilliant. Honestly, I love a league, especially somewhere like Harcourt Park, which is a nice place to be. Big fan of the leagues. One event which isn't on this page but should be is at the end of October is the Extreme in Toad, which is being organised by Disc Shop, and it looks like it's going to be a goodie. By all of the posts and all of the promotion that's being done.
I just look that my wife's due in September with our second child, and I'm trying to find an excuse.
Good luck.
Trying to, because I mean, those of you that know Hayden, he puts on an absolute flawless performance when it comes to tournaments. And he just kept making little cheeky remarks about your extreme this year. Wait to the extreme. You need to get up to the extreme. So I just, don't know. Maybe, and I don't even have any family in Tauranga. That's the problem.
Well, look, online registration for the Extreme opens on the 1st of July. Okay, so you have about 6 weeks on, because it'll fill up quick. But you've got about 6 weeks to do your convincing, earn some brownie points. And do what you can to try and get there. So
the problem for me is that Wahitapu, I think, is going to be the following weekend. So I don't know. I've got to choose between, and Wahitapu's only a couple of hours down the road, but
that's a different kettle of fish altogether, eh? But
definitely.
Okay, well, I don't envy you trying to make that decision. We shall see. An event that I'm eyeing up is New Zealand Nationals in Christchurch, 6th to the 9th of February. Very much looking forward to this. I've already spoken to my wife about it. She's keen as well, so that's going to be good. So yeah, very very keen to head down to Christchurch in February.
That is going to be. I have the privilege of once living in Christchurch and seeing Jay Puki and Jay Watkinson, and the amount of work they put into those courses. Just absolutely phenomenal. And if Jay showing up to having the hot rounds with 2 pigs on his roof is anything, the food alone is going to be worth it. Unfortunately for me, and this is another bloody family thing, my sister-in-law has decided to get married on that weekend, which is one, the reason that I can't go to Thailand, and 2, the reason that I won't be able to attend nationals. In my, in what is probably my home, but
heartbreak. Well, I feel for you, honestly. But anyway, I'm sure you'll have a lovely day, and congratulations to your sister. I'm sure she'll have a lovely day as well with you being there. So yeah. Let's have just a quick look at the power rankings going into the Women's Global event this weekend. Nicola Stout moved up 4 places the other week, up to 5th place, but Hayley Flintoff holds on to the top spot. She'll be playing in... Is she playing in Invercargill this weekend? I didn't see.
Who was that? Sorry,
Hayley.
I'm not too sure.
No, Hayley's not, but Michelle Simpson, if she was, she'd be playing in Christchurch. I think Victoria Speller is certainly playing in Invercargill. Nicola Stout's playing in Invercargill. Charlotte Dunkley's playing up in Auckland. Alison Tweedy's playing in Invercargill. And yeah, plenty of players in this top 20 are playing this weekend in one of the Women's Global events. There's going to be a lot of movement in this division. This weekend. There'll be no movement of really any note, apart from the 2 MA1 and MA2 divisions, which occurred down in Christchurch. that will affect the MPO side of the board. But that about does it for us for today. All I would say is, look, if you're watching and you like what we do, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. It really does help out the show. And actually, we're only 21 away from our next giveaway, which is incredibly close. So that could be a matter of weeks away. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, and statistically 25% of the people who are watching this aren't, then I would encourage you to hit the subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, then I'd love it if you could chuck us a like, as that will make the show appear in front of more eyes.
Can I just say, Matt, that my wife even turned off Bridgerton to watch this tonight.
Oh, did she really?
And it's the new release as well.
Wow.
Open today at 7 o'clock.
To trump Bridgerton, I feel quite honoured, honestly. But finally, I would like to say thank you so much, Arne, for helping out and stepping in whilst Morgan's on his holidays. Morgan has had his head full of tequila for the last few weeks, and is now on his way home. He'll be back on the show next week. Arne, you've done a fantastic job co-hosting. Thank you so much. Obviously, you're welcome anytime. And I know you've got family in Wellington, so next time you're up here, then make sure you give us a shout, and you can join the old farts and myself for a for a round of golf. But yeah, super stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. To all the ladies out there who are playing in the Women's Global event this weekend, very best of luck, and enjoy it. Have fun. The 4 ladies who are putting on the events are 4 incredible ladies who are do a great. Is it Ewan actually who's running the Christchurch event?
Ewan's running it alongside University of Canterbury Disc Golf, and they have Chelsea
Pryor.
Right, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's the main one there.
Yeah. Chelsea, Kath, Nicola and Charlotte do a fantastic job. Not only are they great players, they put an incredible amount of work behind the scenes to make these things happen. So, look, have a great time. And wherever you're playing disc golf, take it easy. Play well, get some birdies, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.